Good morning.
Thanks, Court. I appreciate you saying that. That was really great. Well, you got a substitute teacher, so being,
Why are you here?
I had no idea. Because the boss called me up and said I needed to be here, so here I am, you know? So you get a substitute, which means if we were back in high school, all of you just split and, whatever, right? I mean, you cut up, did all the things that you're not supposed to do because the substitute's gonna go and everything's cool. Developed a program and it's called Stuff Happens. Y'all can translate stuff and I'm sure you will. But in lieu of, we have a lady here, I'm gonna continue to call it Stuff Happens. Examples of stuff happens. Terry, you drive a dump truck, right?
Occasionally.
See, they're acting up because there's a substitute. How much that dump truck weigh loaded?
Too much.
20,000.
Give me a what? If play like I'm a DOT officer, and I just thought to it and said, "What's this thing weigh?" And I'm getting my scales out.
25,000.
25,000. Is that close?
25, yeah.
Let's say it does weigh 25,000, and you're traveling down I-95, and you are exactly the perfect driver that you are. I'm sure you just do it perfectly every time. And you're backing up. You know, the old rule of thumb used to be you back up. What was it? What was it? Per 10 miles an hour, you had to back up. I don't know, 25 feet or whatever. It was a long time ago. Nobody ever follows it. But you back up from the car in front of you or the vehicle in front of you so that you have adequate braking space, right? And you're perfect. You do that every time. As a matter of fact, if it keeps up the way it's going in South Florida, you're going to back up to Jacksonville in order to keep that spacing. So you're going down, you got your proper spacing, you're minding your own business. And one of these guys that does this all the way down I-95, you all experienced him?
You're not talking about Jay.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. You know, all the way down. I almost lost my left front fender the other day. I swear the guy come that close to taking, to get in the car. So one of these guys or gals, you're included, pulls in front of you with your 25,000 pound truck, gets 10 feet in front of you and slams on the brakes. What happened? You what?
You go right over top of something, you won't do it again.
Exactly.
That's pretty much it. And according to the state of Florida, who's at fault?
I am.
Yeah, because you got him in the rear.
Wait.
Yeah.
So, what was this? Was it avoidable? Without wrecking somebody, could you, in your wildest dreams, been able to take that dump truck and avoid an accident?
Hitting the green lane, maybe.
Maybe the truck rolls. You get where I'm coming from here? Some things just, no matter how hard you try, you can't avoid them. No matter how hard you try, no matter how far you think it out, you can't avoid it. Fella the other day, it's been about 2 months back now, fella that fell down there off the city place. Everybody know about that? Where they had the table basically fell. And I don't know the details, but it appears that he was attached somehow, in his fall protection unit was attached to the table that was being flown or that was set, and somehow so it came down with it. In his eyes, he had done the right thing. He had tied off. He had done what they prescribed. That table wasn't supposed to fall, but it did. Stuff happens. Things happen. How many of you participate in gambling activities?
Against the law.
What?
It's against the law.
No, you can go to the Hard Rock down there, you can go to Brighton, or you can go to, you can go to Las Vegas. Go to Las Vegas. How many of you have been to Las Vegas? Thank you. Where'd you go, Van?
It was a conference, I'm not a gambler.
Okay, I disagree with you. I think you're probably the biggest gambler in this room
No.
because that's exactly right, because you started this business and you gambled and hoped and wished and prayed and all those things that it would be successful, and it is. And that's great. But you go to I'm not a Vegas guy, but Caesar's Palace or Bellagio or some of those really ritzy places out there, and they're gorgeous, aren't they? I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous buildings. When I we have my old Vietnam Outfits reunion a lot of times is in Las Vegas. It seems like there is a core of our folks that really enjoy the casinos. And I've never seen anything like it in my life. Because 20 guys will go out with their wives and they will all come back and they all won $3,000. Now, is that possible?
No.
No. Because if that was happening, you wouldn't have these big, beautiful buildings because they'd be out of business. Because everybody in there would be winning, and if everybody's winning, then somebody's not losing and there's no money coming in. So everybody can't be a winner. And that's sort of like stuff happens. How about let's talk a little bit about old Sully. Everybody know who Sully was, the guy that flew the airplane into the Hudson River, saved all his lives.
Yeah, they made a movie about it.
Yeah, they made a movie about it. Guy did a great job. Great job. Do you think he had any idea when he left the runway of Kennedy that airplane was going to run into a bunch of, what did he hit, geese?
Bird.
It was birds, but I think it was geese.
Big birds.
Big birds. See, if you'd been up there taking care of things, it wouldn't be so bad, but you weren't. Hit all those geese. What's the odds of 2 engines sucking up geese and then shutting down? Pretty slim. And that airplane will fly on one. So he ends up in the river. Great job of landing. Stuff happens. Stuff happens. No matter how we look at it, stuff happens. Why do we have ocean?
Take care of shit.
To reduce the opportunity for stuff happens. And we got the reason that ocean exists is to provide some laws. I'm sorry,
Money for the government. There you go, I like that better.
I missed it. I'm sorry.
Money for the government.
Well, it is money for the government, but the reason it came into being supposedly is that our workforce was being diminished by accidents that were somewhat preventable. That's why you have trench sloping instead of hell. We don't care. Dig it straight. Or why we have, if you guys are going up a tower, you have to be hooked off. Is their policy? I don't know what their policy is. Is their policy 100% tile?
Yeah.
Yes, it's also.
I would hope so. That means this. It's 100% tile. No matter what we do, there is risk in this life. If you dig a trench, who's running crews here? Rusty. And you dig it and you're in South Florida and your dewatering pump shuts off and water is coming in the bottom of that trench and you didn't slope it 1.5 to 1 and you ain't got a box. What's the possibilities of having a collapse?
Pretty damn good.
Pretty good. Stuff happens. But you put in a trench box and you have your dewatering system and you have it sloped 1.5 to 1, you reduce the risk, right? That's what's important. Now, who's responsible for managing your risk?
You are. We are.
You personally are responsible for managing your risk. If you're going to look at Rusty, you're on Rusty's crew, and you're going to look at Rusty and say, well, Rusty's watching out for me, so I don't have to be concerned with this a bit. Because he's going to make sure it doesn't collapse on me, and he's going to make sure there's not a hazardous atmosphere, and he's going to make sure That is his responsibility to do his best. But if you're the guy down in the hole and you're starting to see sloughing in the hole and he can't see it, let's say he's operating the hoe, and you see that sloughing starting in the hole, what do? Get out. Your responsibility to manage your own risk. It's your responsibility to manage your own risk. There's an old, I think it's, let me see here, 7 Ps. Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. Right? Yeah, it does. So the same goes with this. You have to manage your risk. Otherwise, if you want nothing to happen to you, what can you do? You want absolutely nothing to happen to you. What can you do? Lay in bed, right?
Don't do that.
Lay in bed, do nothing. But then what happens?
Don't make no money.
No, that's fact. Well, yes, you're right. I'm not going to go into the political side of things here. You lay in bed. Okay, nothing is going to happen to me here. You get a bed sore and it infects and you're dead. Stuff happens. Stuff happens. So, what is the reward for you managing your risk? What's the reward for Terry driving the truck as best he can, except for the idiot, Jay, which cuts him off?
She's alive.
The reward is that he stays alive, he stays productive, and he has a happy, long life, we hope. Right? Well, the same goes with all you guys, and me, and her. It's manage our risk. Have a life. Gotta have a life. Can't lay in bed. I don't want to die of an infected bed sore. There's several other ways I prefer to go. We won't discuss them here today. But we manage our own risk. We have to. You manage your risk with your vehicle, one you own?
Yeah.
Or do you just drive it till you see cord in the tires?
It runs into somebody.
Thank you. People should pull out in front of me.
Here we go.
You picked the right one.
I knew it. I knew when I came here.
You already did it.
I absolutely, when he was Kevin, these kind of things pop up, I go, because I'm hitting that point where I'm sort of more than semi-retired anymore. And I hate to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and be here at 6:30, because if I don't, the Queen Bee will be
You
mad at
slept
me.
in 5?
Or 5, I'm sorry, yes, 5. But when I get here and I see all my old friends and we're having a good time, and hopefully we're learning something out of these things, if I prevent any of you from being injured today, then I did my job. And I enjoyed being here. Any questions? Do you understand what I'm driving at, guys? I know I sound like sort of like a Baptist preacher. Uh-oh, probably drove for St. Baptist. But the bottom line is, sometimes I actually get inspired and put it down on paper. And that's what I talk about. All right. My gosh, it looks like about time to go do something, huh, Van?
Not yet.
Not yet?